Welcome to the Fluff, and welcome to some new SCP reading. Ooh, it's been an exciting day. I got myself a job as a studio manager. Well, part of the studio managing group in a film. I'm not gonna tell you what film it is because that is a secret until it's out. Although by the time this video comes out, that is gonna be way past in the past. We'll see. You can ask me like on Discord or Twitter or any place, like, hey, what film was it? And like, I can say, like, no, it's not out yet. I can't tell, but yeah, no, I'm really excited. To like get that started, and yeah, I mean, there's nothing. Like, it's Monday. It is Monday. Well, for you guys, many months back in the past Monday, but yeah, no, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. But hey, you know what's also gonna be great? Dr. Wondertainment's custom pets, because that's the first SCP we're gonna read today. Remember what you have to do with the subscription button? You gotta secure it. What about the like button? Protect it. Exactly. You are a bunch of smart people. That's why you're part of the SCP Foundation. And last but not least, the comment section. Contain. I just realized I just said secure, protect, contain. That doesn't. Y'all forget it. But you know what you have to do. But in the meantime, we're gonna start with Dr. Wondertainment's custom pets. It's a safe with 280 upvotes, and it's a little big. It's middle. I drank my G Fuel already, so I should be full of energy. I got myself some water. We're all good. Let's go. All adult SCP-1550 specimens are to be contained in a sealed 5 by 5 by 5 meter cubed terrarium simulating desert conditions under electronic surveillance and implanted with tracking devices. In event of an escape, the affected sector will be locked down until all specimens have been recaptured. SCP-1550 eggs are to be kept in their airtight packaging apart from in testing. The total population of SCP-1550 adults is not to exceed 20 at a time, with further specimens being terminated and their corpses incinerated. Okay. Why 20 exactly? What is it about the 20 that makes it that specific metric number? We'll find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. Next time on SCP-Z. All testing must be approved by level 3 staff or higher. All uncontained instances of SCP-1550 discovered must immediately be killed on sight. Listen, the title says pets, so I hope it's not another one that is about killing animals. Like 3 days ago. Yeah, 3 days ago. No, 2 days ago. No, 3 days ago. God, that time. I released the SCP that it was all about the dogs getting, like the puppies getting killed in the machine, and everybody was like, oh, it's this one. I'm like, yeah, it's this one. So I'm just saying, it better not be another one where it's all about the dogs and the cats dying. Item SCP-1550 is an apparently artificial species of unknown classification whose larvae have the ability to undergo metamorphosis into a form which is adapted for the environment. However, despite adaptation, all specimens possess a tattoo-like set of markings on the underbelly, reading "Dildo expunged," a Dr. Wondertainment trademark, and none will grow to over centimeters in length. So we have another metamorphosis SCP, because I'm pretty sure metamorphic identity. We had that last week. So looks like we have another one that has to do with transformation. And I assume that fitting to the environment, either, so like if you put the larva somewhere where it's like humid, it will become, I assume it's going to be an actual animal, not just an insects are animals, you know what I mean. I assume it's going to be an animal that is adaptable to those environments. So if it's humid, it might be like some sort of jungle animal, or just something that it can take care of itself in humid environment. It does say desert, which makes sense because like you don't want any desert animals are not the hardest to deal with. I say that like if it's like a bunch of scorpions, then like that's it. As long as you don't like, you know, go in there unprotected, you should be fine. But imagine you have like an oasis, and suddenly you have a horde of elephants to deal with. So that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say that scorpions are a small deal. I'm just trying to explain that like they pick the desert environment because the animals that it spawns is probably not as varied as other environments. Due to SCP-1550's powers of adaptation, it is unknown if the species has an original form, and if so, what it is. SCP-1550 eggs are 1 cm long, flesh-toned ovoids, which will only hatch if exposed to air. When packaged, they are stored under airtight plastic seals, apparently for transport. The dissection of unhatched eggs reveals them to simply contain a biological mucoid substance containing fragmentary DNA of unknown origin. As adult SCP-1550 specimens appear to be sterile, it is unknown how the eggs are created. SCP magic. And here we have experiment log, which is going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so date. Test subject SCP-1550. 1550 egg was placed in a tank of seawater and allowed to hatch. Results. SCP-1550 specimen-1 has gills along its upper back behind the eyes and flattened and broadened tails to serve as paddles for swimming. It produces specialized mucus to protect its eyes from salt damage. It has a swim bladder revealed upon dissection on its lower end, dirt expunged. Skin coloration was also mottled blue, presumably to blend with the seawater, Doctor. So that doesn't really sound like an animal we have. So that, first of all, throw away the whole idea that they have a bunch of scorpions and elephants to deal with. But so they have to deal with like random animals that they don't even know what it is. It does say here artificial species of unknown classification. So it's like an animal you never saw. It's a Pokemon basically. Making soul shaking. Sorry, that song is really good. But yeah, okay. Date again. I'm not gonna do that for every single date because it looks like there's not a single one that actually has the date written. So the same SCP, of course. 1 egg was placed in a tank of water taken from a river behind the site in which SCP-1550 was stored and allowed to hatch. SCP-1550 specimen-2 possesses enlarged lungs and thin body for increased streamlining. No gills. Apparently it doesn't use the same adaptation for similar circumstances. That's somewhat odd, Doctor. And next date, SCP-1550. 1 egg was placed in a terrarium made to simulate a temperate forest ecosystem and allowed to hatch. SCP-1550 specimen-3 has a thin layer of brown fur covering the top of its body and a enriched snake-like underbelly as well as enlarged tail tentacles. The richest long -3's underbelly had a small oval patch of smooth skin on which the tattoo-like markings were located. Doctor. Oh yeah, I forgot. They all have some sort of tattoo thing, which is the Dr. Wondertainment trademark apparently. Next one. 1 egg was placed in a terrarium made to simulate a desert ecosystem and allowed to hatch. -4 was cold-blooded and has a tan coloration to camouflage it against sand, as well as a tendency to burrow. The size was also interesting. Centimeters in length, about 1 centimeter larger than the other specimens. Doctor. Okay. The fact that it can camouflage, though, would make you think that maybe a desert environment would not be the best idea, because you never know how many there are in the desert environment. It did say you need 20. At least. Don't go over 20. Keep it at 20. So, if all of them become... I mean, we also found out that they not all become the same species, even in similar environment. But if it's the same environment, I assume they will become the same species. And if that's the case, you don't really want a whole bunch of SCPs that camouflage now, do you? Because how else are you going to keep track of it all? You can easily make a mistake. I'm just saying. 1 egg was placed in a terrarium made to simulate a standard city apartment and allowed to hatch. Becomes a rat. The -5 has leathery skin, eyes on short lumps protruding from its head in a manner somewhat like the eyes of a chameleon, and was noted for behaving in a more affectionate and active manner to researchers than other specimens of SCP-1550. Probably because like a lot of city animals, except rats and mice, are used to humans. I mean, okay, rats and mice are also used to humans, but I mean like they get surrounded by humans, and there's a lot of like pets in city life, so maybe that's the reason why it's a bit more friendlier. Study revealed that behind the jaw inside are located strands of whale-like baleen, allowing the specimen to filter dust and crumbs from the floor. Doctor. It's just an animal vacuum cleaner. One egg was placed in a vat of molten iron. Egg burst into flames and was destroyed. Well, what do you expect to happen? What a dumb experiment. Like, what happens if you just... Might as well just toss into lava. One egg was placed in a vacuum chamber which was then depressurized. Egg exploded, coating the inside of the vacuum chamber in dirt expunged. Now it seems obvious that SCP-1550 eggs cannot survive conditions beside those in which at least some sort of complex animals can live. So we might as well stop trying to make them do so, Doctor. Yeah, it makes sense. So like, the animal has to be able to survive in it, and if it's an environment they cannot survive, forget it. Also, it seems to like copy whatever animal traits our animals have. So no animal that we know of can survive molten iron. It's definitely not hatching in molten iron. Okay, one egg was placed in a vacuum chamber filled with seawater, which was then pressurized to 1,086 bars, 15,750 psi. -8 possessed a bioluminescent lure similar to that of an anglerfish extending from its forehead, gills similar to -1, and dark grey-blue coloration. Legs were flattened and webbed into fish-like fins, and eyes were near twice the size of those of the other SCP-1550 specimens. Teeth were sharpened and possessed wishes to cut meat similar to those found in many species of shark. This leaves the question of just what kind of child Dr. Wondertainment is trying to sell these things to that would live in conditions where a creature like that could be kept as a pet. Doctor History. Listen, man. Don't question Dr. Wondertainment. Most of his things are meant for children. Not a single child should have it. So when you say like, what kind of child's gonna have a pet? Like, don't even. You just stop right there. Stop right there, because you're gonna break your head trying to think about that. History. SCP-1550 was brought into containment after a series of 10 cardboard packages printed with stylized images of SCP-1550 specimens and the words Dr. Wondertainment custom pets, each containing 6 eggs in separate airtight compartments, and a short instruction leaflet was found in the exotic pets section of the pet store. Upon interrogation of store workers, it was proven that none possessed knowledge of SCP-1550. The amount of times that something exists in the SCP Foundation casually in a store or is made by a certain brand, and the Foundation has to be like, hey, do you know about this? And everybody else is like, no. What? What is this? Why would we know about this? And the Foundation's like, oh, fucking amnestics. You know what I mean? Like, that must be annoying after a while. And close to the original packaging leaflet, yep. Hey kids, your parents aren't letting you get a dog or cat. Don't fret, buy a Dr. Wondertainment custom pet. A Dr. Wondertainment custom pet is far superior to any ordinary and boring cat or dog due to the original Adapto Eggs packaging, a Dr. Wondertainment invention. Just leave your custom pet Adapto Eggs around the house, and when they hatch, they'll fit right in. Perfect for apartments. To get your very own custom pets, it's easy, kids. Just put an egg in your house and break the plastic seal to give your new pet some air so it can hatch. Your new pet will be perfect for where you live, wherever you live. If your new custom pet seems lonely, just add an Adapto Egg and get him a new friend. Warning for parents, please monitor your children's placement of Adapto Eggs to prevent. Dr. Wondertainment is not responsible for injuries or death caused by this or any other product. Dr. Wondertainment custom pets are shipped out prefixed. And that was a fun one to start with. Wait a minute, before I get that, yeah, there we go. That was a fun one to start with, I gotta say. I like that one. Dr. Wondertainment's custom pet. Would you guys be willing to get one? Would you be like living somewhere in the middle of the boonies? Some like hut by yourself, and you're like, oh, what kind of pet can I have? You know, dog, but what kind of pet can I have that's like really fitting for this specific forest? And would you think maybe I'll take one of those Dr. Wondertainment's adaptable eggs? I'm just asking. You never know.